In this video, I'm going to cover my entire computer and help you to achieve organization and structure on your computer and work life. So this video will be an entire walkthrough without cuts. So everything will be just at one, kind of like a live streaming. And we're going to each section of this video. First of all, we start with the desktop structure and folder structure I'm using, then covering up to my shortcuts I use, especially on my mice, and then getting over to Notion, how I organize Notion and my template as well, if you want to get it. Then to Milanote, which is another app which is more for like brainstorming creativity, and at the end to my browser structure to also stay not distracted and really focus only on work in the morning. So let's kick this video. So everyone, starting off first, how to structure your computer, especially for ADHD. So folder structure, iCloud, everything together is on my computer. And we're starting off first with the task menu bar. So starting off first on the left side is quite simple. Everything what I need to do is like typical computer software, apps I need for my computer. Going over to more to the right, there's more like the apps I'm using and everything related to work and stuff I need. Otherwise, my desktop is quite clean actually. So I try to not leave anything on the desktop. And also this is a new computer. So I just purchased this computer a week ago. Everything is on Mac, but on Windows, but I also have a Mac. So I use both. And that's also why I'm getting closer layers to the iCloud folder. But also, if you mention different lighting, I needed to record the videos for the third time because something was wrong. So otherwise, we have the typical trash. We have typical apps, programs in a folder. Nothing really special, nothing really too exciting, just to have a typical structure and to keep my desktop clean. Then I have a few games I play for my gaming channel on YouTube. If you want to find it out, click on the link below. That's if you're interested about like gaming and health. And a bit of productivity is included in this gaming channel as well. And yeah, that's for example, like videos which I finished producing or the video which I just failed. So never mind. And jumping on first, how my computer is actually structured. So when we're getting into the desktop, for example, there's like a couple of themes. And so there's a desktop, there's a PC. I have a shared Windows and Mac folder, and that's how my entire systems is structured. So I can get on any computer I have. Is it my MacBook? Is it my iMac? Or is it my Windows computer? I can get everything in the iCloud. Everything is stored in these 4 folders, which makes everything way easier. I can also access this through my iPad, my iPhone, and whatsoever. So it does work perfectly. And I use the para method. So for anyone who don't know what the para method is, it is from Tiago Forte. He's a bit bigger, not bigger, but like he does a couple of YouTube videos, and he was writing a book. It calls, how does it called? Maybe something with the para method or something with productivity. But I use his method, but I changed it a bit for ADHD purposes. So we're starting off with projects, areas, resources, and archives. So means projects, for example, are having a goal or a specific end. Areas, for example, have roles or responsibilities and ongoing maintenance and are never completed. That could be, for example, my gaming channel, my normal YouTube channel, things I need to continuous, like businesses, for example, like a business continues growing. Maybe you change a business, then it is a project. But when you have one business and you continue for a longer period of time, it is mostly an area. And we continue to resources, for example, are something any topic of ongoing interest, inspiration for future project. Means it could be learning, it could be screenshots, which are archived here. So screenshots, injury space. So for example, when I injure myself, I have a dedicated space where like, okay, I have this injury which I had 2 years ago, for example. So I save, okay, that's the injury which I had 2 years ago. That's what I need to do for exercises, how many repetitions, how many weight I should use to start off with that. So everything I need to collect in terms of knowledge and information is saved in resources. And then we have archive. That could be project. That could be things there were in the past which are inactive. So if there's something in mind, okay, I need that for the past. I have that in archive for the future, I had that in archives. So project is something just we need for a short period of time. To explain it shortly, for example, like feedback from a customer, which I need to develop and change for a project. And after this video project is finished, it goes away. It gets either to archive or it gets deleted, one of that project areas. For ADHD purposes, in my case, I have specific archives for specific areas. So I kind of extended the para method for my ADHD purposes, because I know if there's too much on my screen, like if there's like these all areas at once, I kind of can't focus on specific things. So I try to narrow it down, especially for more projects. If there's too much on one screen, I kind of get like anxious and have too much on my screen and can't really focus on one. So I really try to narrow it down as little as possible. And that's something also which I going to cover up in Notion. Yeah, so that's in a short way of using the para method for the structure and how it works. And that's also how the desktop is working. So for example, here are the projects, areas, and archives. Project is something short. We don't need to cover it, or same with resources, but areas might be a bit more interesting. So when we're getting into the areas on my computer, I have an inbox folder, which means if there's something I download, something I need, it gets into the downloads folder. Means, for example, here, that would be an example from a video which I needed to export, an audio which I got downloaded, and then I need to sort it to one of the folders or to one of the hard drives. For example, if I'm editing videos, I collect it to a hard drive. This hard drive, for example, here is there for gaming purposes. This entire hard drive is only for gaming videos. Then I have a second hard drive, which is only there for my typical YouTube videos and whatsoever, photography. Everything is stored in this one. That's mostly with the USB-C cable, which is mostly changing pretty fast between MacBook and PC, so I can store all my data at once. So yeah, that's something which is there, pretty simple. I'm just wanted to, yeah. So otherwise, I have the inbox folder, which is the downloads, and I stored this one already, so I can delete it afterward. And this is a check-in, which I sent to a friend, which also is not needed anymore, so I can delete it. I just delete everything from a folder, which when I stored it and sorted it already. So I keep this as clean as possible. So I know there's something new and I need to sort it out. So this one is always staying empty, and I need to sort it. When I'm getting to the folder, I can now know, okay, where do I store it? And mostly, for example, get into projects or an area, and there are also specific structuring folders. So I have document everything what is connected with papers, laws stuff, taxes, invoices, everything is stored in documents. Then I have an iPhone folder. Everything which I have on my iPhone and I need it for work is put in this iPhone folder. Then I have a music download folder. So when I download music for video purposes, I put it in this music download folder. So either I'm downloading on Mac or on computer, it will be stored on the music download. Then I have a photo content. The photo content is always stored. Everything what is related to photos, which I need on different devices, and it needs to be in the iCloud. So for example, creating fast thumbnails. So I need to have that either on a Mac or on a computer. When I'm on the way, I have my MacBook and not my PC with me. So I need to be able to access it from anywhere in the world. So that's the photo content. If you want to see, there's Jeffalo Gaming's content. There's also, for example, the PSDs from Photoshop, for example. There is wallpapers from background, and there's thumbnails. So all my thumbnail stuff is also here. So I have the thumbnail stuff for my Jeffalo and my thumbnail stuff for my Jeffalo Gaming. They're also stored differently. And also I have a ready to publish for. So everything what needs to come up online on social media, YouTube, whatsoever, will be stored in a ready to publish folder. And then from there on, I go on my phone. It is in fast access, so ready to publish, use it Instagram and upload it immediately. And then I have video content. So that's everything which I need for video editing, which is universal and can be stored online in the cloud. So that could be simple things, AI voices, which I don't have a specific purpose, or templates, for example, which I need on different devices. And I don't want to store it on the hard drive because otherwise I always need the hard drive. So there's some things which needs to be universal in terms of video creation for all devices. And I should not be limited in terms of the hard drive that will be stored in this folder, for example, in the video content folder. So there's something interesting what I would also like to showcase is my mice actually, how I use my mice for productivity. So there's different things I use. So as we mostly know, I think we all know the productivity mice everyone is using with the Logitech, how does it called, Master 3S for Mac. There's also, you have 3 options to use that for 3 different devices. But I was testing out this mice for a year and seriously, I'm super unsatisfied with it. I mean, it calls the best productivity mice ever. The only thing which is really amazing are the 2 buttons which are good for MacBook. So the one you can press here, which does use a better option to swipe things on the Mac. And for example, the vertical, is it? I think it's a vertical. Yeah, it's a horizontal scroll wheel. That's also pretty amazing, especially if you're doing editing videos. But otherwise, I would not recommend this mouse. There's not enough buttons on the mouse, first of all. And second of all, the DPI is way too slow and it's too heavy. So if you experience in terms of gaming or in terms of productivity, a gaming mouse which have more button layouts is in any way better than any productivity mouse. So you can use this mouse for gaming and productivity. And on the other side, when we have the muscle memory, we know it from video games, for example, we can use the muscle memory in terms of editing videos and also being productive. And we have more options. I mean, many more options. So for example, this one works on Mac and Windows, and it's, in my opinion, the best. It's a Logitech G502X. I have a link down below for Amazon if you want to purchase this one, or you want to know what it is. You can check out the link there. It's an affiliate link, I need to say that. So otherwise, I get a few percentages. I don't know if it even works with affiliate links. I never tried it out, but yeah, never mind. And there's also the button on the side, which I will showcase here as well. So for example, when we're inside here, we have the different DPIs, which can be changed in literally like one click. So super simple. And the most interesting is we have one button, which is called the G Shift button. And if you click this, all the buttons can be individually changed, which is a game changer, because you have so many more options. So for example, getting over this mice, we have these 2 buttons here. We have the scroll wheel, we have 2 buttons here. This one is for the unlimited scrolling, which does make sense for big documents. This one is the standard DPI, which you can see on the screen. Then we have on the side the 2 other layouts, which are also identical to the productivity mice. So I keep all of them always the same, just in case if I'm changing my mice. And also there's this G-Shift button. You can also change it, but in my perspective, that's the best. And if you press that, you can see on the screen, the entire button layout is changing, which makes productivity so much better. And also the same buttons are working for Mac and Windows. There's only one difference, that one button, which is forward and backwards on Windows, which is amazing for changing folders. So let me show you. When we are going, for example, on a specific folder here, we're going on my shared Windows folder, and I go to areas. When I'm clicking this button, left or right, I can switch between the tabs. So not the tabs, but like forward and backwards. So for example, I click into the folder, and then I just go backward, and it just goes to the folder back. It also works on Google Chrome. So for example, I type something in, like for example, I go on YouTube, and I just want to go back to Google. I just press this button and I'm back. That is a game changer that makes everything and productivity so much faster. Also browsing, whatever. So that is a complete game changer in my perspective. And this does not work on Mac. That's the reason I don't use it on Mac, sadly. So I'm a bit more, in terms of writing and fast connections, so Windows is a bit better in that particular, but in terms of design, Mac is better. So both, like I would say, Windows and Mac is kind of similar. If they would combine together and take both of the best worlds together, it would be perfect software. But otherwise, you can't make it correct for everyone. So that's quite difficult. Yeah. Continuing. Everything which is similar to all the other mice are these two buttons, which you can see here. These ones stays the same. There's copy and that's paste. That's always the same. Then we have the G Shift button, which is here on the side. I can easily press it with my thumb. And when I press that, the G Shift button is changing. I don't use anything for on the sides because you can't really reach it while you're pressing the G Shift button. But when we have the first layout, it does change a bit. So continuing further, first of all, before pressing the G Shift button, I can do a redo and undo. Means if I do a mistake, is it on Photoshop, is it on Premiere Pro, I can press this button. So I just need to do one simple swift. So, okay, there was a mistake, I just correct it. And I just do it again. Super simple. That's also the reason why I changed from the Razer Bezel-less V3 Pro, because this one does not have this specific buttons here on the side, but it just feels and looks great as well. But because of the two buttons, it does make a huge difference in terms of the G Shift. Continuing further, when we go here, as I mentioned before, there's a backwards and forward, the folder structure, or in Google, then everything else stays the same. But when we press the G Shift button now, this one is changing to the DPI. The reason for that is we can either use it in video games to change, for example, the turnaround speed, or we can also use it in terms of photo editing or video editing to be a bit more precise. And that does a huge difference. You don't want to act on it accidentally, so that's the reason I put it on the G Shift button to know it. Then another thing which is quite interesting, which I done for myself, which is more effective for me, I put on the right button when I press the G Shift button, the STRG, which you can see on the screen right now. And when that is pressed and I press the STRG, I can zoom in. Means when I'm here on Milanote, the app which I present later on for productivity, I press the STRG and the G Shift, and then I can zoom in and out. That makes a huge difference. Otherwise, also pretty interesting, as I mentioned, this forward and backwards option. When I use the similar one, but with a G Shift button, I can scroll left and right. So off the horizontal scroll wheel, which is actually on the productivity mice, but I changed that with this G Shift button. So this one is really handy, but if you're getting used to it after 1 or 2 weeks with the gaming productivity mice, it is exactly the same. It is just a muscle memory what you need. And yeah, and we can still use the standard DPI just in case if we need it, because I didn't find anything more useful for this one because I don't really need it and I can't really exit it that fast with my mice. Yeah. That's so far of the productivity on the mice, which does make a huge difference in terms of effectiveness. ADHD also, because it does bring some gamification into work life. So when we're getting into Notion, actually, which is actually the most interesting part here as well, because I do mostly everything in Notion and Milanote. That's two apps which I use literally. Okay, I do use it every day. And I have specific ways how to structure my stuff for ADHD purposes. So the biggest thing what I have is you're starting off on the top, which is the idea channel. So always when I have an idea for a YouTube video or any type of content, I put it in here. It could be a newsletter, it could be a short content, it could be a business content, it could be ADHD, and it could be something for my gaming channel. And also in that way, I have something for gaming, Elden Ring, and everything at once. And if this idea is good, I put it off an idea and it becomes an action. If I find the idea not good, I put it into the graveyard and it might purpose longer for the future. And I also started like, is it either suiting to my Jeffrey Lou brand, which is more into the ADHD and health purpose, or is it into my gaming health channel? So that is the difference. And after I click off the idea, it gets into the progress area where I also structure it in different terms of tags, which I will cover up in a few seconds. And the important thing is also, this is a typical step-by-step, what I need to do. It's a concept, it's a plan, it's writing, it's scheduled. I'm going to do it right now. I record it like this video right now here. It's ready to edit, which is coming probably after the recording here. And then editing, check first and complete. When it's complete, it gets into the completed projects, just in case if I need some inspiration from a video I already published, I can check it out here. And also in different versions, but this one is in my case the best if you see the thumbnail, so I exactly know that's this video which I posted up. There's also master content tracker here, which I will come up in a few seconds as well. So when I have two different structures, there's ones which I see everything at once for my gaming channel, and I see everything at once for my Jeffalu brand, which is actually in this particular thing is everything. Everything I have where I'm creating content is in this one. But as you can see, it is way too much. And especially it is way too much for someone who have ADHD, which probably makes a change. So what I did instead is I put everything into specific tags, so I don't get too much cluttering. Because if I start working in the morning, I say either I work on my gaming channel or I work on my productivity and health channel, ADHD productivity health channel, I have two different ways of thinking. The one I think about gaming and how I can create that, and the other one I think about ADHD content. Because otherwise, if I combine it together, somehow I never get into a result and a solution on this day because I just don't know what to focus on. So I start in the morning with a clear goal, like, hey, that's my purpose for today, and that's only the tab which I open. So for example, if I want to create this video like I'm doing today, I'm going, for example, on the Jeffalu long format video area or the ADHD content. So means this is only there for ADHD content, which is today's purpose. Hey, how to structure your life and work with ADHD, a full tutorial. Maybe I change the title also later. And for example, if I'm having a hybrid video, which is about productivity, which is about health and gaming, it's going to be stored here. So how long I'm recording everything, because should be fine. And then otherwise, when we have, I can also have creating gaming shorts, Elden Ring content, or everything at once, which does give me just an overview, which I not really often in this tab. And you can also see here, it could be still, if I don't like it, I put it back into idea, or, and otherwise I can also know here, it's a long format ADHD content. For the hybrid, I know it's a gaming productivity content. For the gaming short, I know it's an ASMR short content, for example. For Elden Ring, it's an Elden Ring tag. And everything will be tagged here. So I can create different progress tabs, which have different purposes to not get distracted. And it does make a huge difference. And I do it this specific system for a couple of months. And before that, I was using this entire Notion template for a year, but then I'd done always small changes. So what is also important is the master content tracker, or especially the timeline. So for example, if I know a video wants to come up on Sunday, today is this video, I put it on, hey, it's going to publish on Sunday, but I might record it an entire week. I script it, I record it, and whatsoever. So it needs to be published on Sunday or Monday. And in the future, when I have a bigger team, which is not only a one-person business, and also I have maybe 2 or 3 video editors and distributors or whatsoever, or assistants, and they know, okay, the video needs to be published on Monday, so I have 2 or 3 days to edit this video over the weekend, if you want to work on a weekend, what I'm doing, or not. But the video needs to be published on Monday, so I kind of structure it in this timeline, but this is only something for the future. In the moment, I just try to create as much content as possible. And if you're interested in the template, I created a wait list, and if 50 people are signing up to the wait list, I'm creating this template for you. I might put it in $5 or $10 or euros, just in a purpose, because I know when people purchase something, it does have a bigger value. Because I know it, when I download a template from Notion, like from someone else here, I never click it. That's the thing. But because I purchased it, I think it does bring a bigger value. So that's the reason I do it for $5 or $10, which is not a lot. And I think every one can buy it, because a kebab or a pizza costs $5 up to 10. So if you can buy a pizza or kebab, you can also buy this template. So, but only if people are interested, and that's the reason I created this waitlist, because otherwise it would take me too much time to shift this one into a useful template. So I only want to know if it's valuable for you and you have an interest to get this template for ADHD purposes and structure, or people might just create it by themselves, which just is a bit more complex, but also works if people are interested to create their own template on Notion. That works. So continuing further for my content, I go into Milanote. So Milanote is the different one for the purpose, and we're here into Milanote, and that's where I use the Pair method. I don't really want to explain too much because I've done it before. It is just the simple way that Milanote is a folder, for example, with a whiteboard, or in this particular thing, a dartboard, where you can create folders in folders and in folders, which is pretty useful. So we can really be structured and create multiple folders in folders. So we always can be really precise and clean. Because I feel like if there's a whiteboard and it's too much all the side, you need to fly all the way and you can't really be focused. And it is just too much movement. So that's the reason I use Milanote, and it's, in my case, one of the best apps I ever done. And I think I don't have any affiliate links. For students, it's like $5. If you're a student, it's $5 per month. If you're not a student like myself, I pay $10. But in my perspective, it's completely worth it. And it's the best whiteboard app I found in so far. There's nothing which I can't find. Only thing what I might find interesting, if they would include like Notion, and like if Notion would do a whiteboard, that would be insane. And also with AI, that would be probably mind blowing with the folder structure they use for Milanote. So if Milanote and Notion somehow work together, that would be the end game of a productivity system. Yeah. So pretty short into Milanote. I will also put a link down below. It's not an affiliate link, so I don't get anything out of it. So for the last one, which probably most people are using, is Google. Google, Firefox, Opera, if some people are using it, or Safari. And for that purpose, I try to make it really simple and explanatory. Okay, I don't know where this video was cutting off because it was over half an hour. So switching from Milanote into Google, and I hope it was during this time because my camera can only record it for 30 minutes. That's something annoying, and I think I'm not sure if you can fix it because it's the overheating from the typical Sony cameras. So when we're into Google, what is important is a structure. I have two structure folders. All of the rest are old ones, which I need to delete in the future. So we have daily use and we have the life folder. Daily use is the stuff I need daily for work purposes. Not daily, but could be daily. Then I have a live folder, could be credit cards, animes, fast access, and so on. And I don't really need the other tabs. That's something for the past to learn how to structure. Then I use a couple of extensions. The one is Grammarly, iCloud, Milanote, Clipper, uBlock Origin, which is for YouTube ads, because it's just wasting my time. So I use an ad blocker for YouTube, and an unhook, which I'm coming up right now in the vidIQ vision, which gives me some additional information on YouTube. And that's for passwords. And the interesting thing about this unhook is, for example, in the morning, you can get easily distracted when you're watching YouTube thumbnail, and then your mind is getting out of this wave, and it's getting too much attention with dopamine, with ADHD. So I just press on that, and it just hides my entire YouTube, so I can only go on my videos on my gaming channel, so I can see the stats and the statistics, but I'm not getting distracted from the content. Then another really interesting thing is I can also do it individually and change the things that I want to see and don't want to see. For example, if I'm clicking on a video and then I want to watch it for later, I can either save it on YouTube or I put this clipper here on, which automatically saves this one to my home, or I can say it should save on my home, daily video, content creation, or whatsoever. That one is helping a lot, especially if you want to store something fast. And then it gets into an inbox again, like my Pair method, which I use from Tiago Forte. And then from the inbox in Milanote, I store it in one of the folders. Yeah, that's it. That's actually the entire structure of my work and desktop for ADHD. I hope it was clear. If there's any things you don't know, I would like to know, put it down in the comments. I would be super happy to help you. And yeah, I hope this video does not have any mistakes and I don't need to record it for a fourth time. And it does had a short break of the camera because it was probably overheating and then can only store for 30 minutes. Next time I need to put a timer that keep this video below 30 minutes. So otherwise, thank you very much for watching this video. It is a long video. I'm not sure if this video will anyways get any views, but I would be super happy, and leave any feedback in the comments and see you guys in the next video. Bye.